Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to This Explainer, where we're going to decode our most significant relationships through the lens of astrology. Today we're looking really closely at the seventh house, which is all about the astrology of partnership and union. So if you've ever wondered about the invisible forces shaping your deepest connections, you are absolutely going to find this fascinating.
Let's start with a question that, honestly, almost everyone asks themselves at some point, right? Why do we attract certain people, and ultimately, who are we destined to be with? It's a huge relationship pain point. Sometimes our patterns feel like a complete, unsolvable mystery. But the seventh house, it actually acts as a solution key to understanding these deep partnership dynamics. It's basically a map for the connections we make in our lives.
Section 1, Gateway to the Other.
Now, you probably know the first 6 houses focus strictly on the self. Your personal resources, your daily routines, your foundations. But right here, at the 7th house threshold, everything radically shifts. This is the primary astrological sector governing significant relationships, marriage, business alliances, and close friendships built on deep intimacy. The unit of analysis completely shifts from just you to the life you share with others. We're not just talking romantic partners here. It's literally anyone with whom you have a profound, face-to-face, one-on-one bond.
And this brilliantly illustrates that this sector represents absolutely everyone in your life who isn't you. It is the gateway to the other. It's that exact point where our personal internal identity meets the wider social world through commitment and really profound interaction.
Section 2, the horizon of union. To truly grasp what this house means, we have to look at its profound, literal meaning right up there in the sky. The first house is all about emergence, birth, planets rising up into the sky, representing a stark separation of the individual self. But the 7th house? That's where the sky actually meets the Earth on the western horizon. Traditionally, this is called the setting place. It's a unifying, incredibly grounding energy where planets physically descend.
As those planets descend into the Earth at this setting 7th house, they kind of lose that stark separation they had when they were rising. This creates what I like to call a blurring of the lines, which perfectly symbolizes the compromise of partnership. It represents the exact space where I ends and we begins. It's this beautiful realization that, hey, we are not alone, and we have to negotiate our shared existence.
Section 3, planetary influences on love.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how we can think of the 7th house as a relational environment, and the planets as dynamic tenants moving in. Depending on who is renting the space, your relationship needs completely change. So if the sun is here, you find your vitality and co-create your life spirit with someone else. You absolutely need visibility in a partnership. If you have the moon, you crave deep emotional intertwining and nurturance. You want that shared rhythm and intuitive knowingness. And if Mercury moves in, well, communication is quite literally your love language. You become an intellectual bridge builder who needs a partner you can negotiate with and talk to about absolutely everything.
Let's expand this character study to the outer and social planets. If Venus is your tenant, your relationships prioritize harmony, kindness, and aesthetic connection, bringing a lot of ease and good fortune. But look at Mars. Mars brings heat, energetic action, and a bold, fiery, competitive edge to your partnerships. No boring dates for you, right? Then we have Jupiter, which brings abundance, growth, and optimism, often through partners acting as mentors who expand your world. And then there's Saturn. Saturn takes a very disciplined, serious approach to time and structure. With Saturn here, you might be a cautious late bloomer whose partnerships mature like fine wine, becoming incredibly stable and deeply rewarding after age 30.
Beyond the planets themselves, the zodiac sign on your 7th house cusp further flavors your whole partnership style. A water sign like Cancer is seeking profound emotional security, while Pisces dissolves boundaries for a compassionate, highly spiritual love. Got an earth sign like Capricorn or Taurus? You're looking for deep, responsible commitment and loyal stability. Meanwhile, air signs like Aquarius and Gemini, they need unconventional independence and constant mental stimulation. And Scorpio brings intense, deep emotional bonding to the table. Basically, your sign adds a totally unique filter to how you naturally navigate these connections.
Let's move to and see how this builds in Section 4, Navigating an Empty House.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about planets living in this house, which brings up a very common anxiety for people checking their charts. What if your 7th house has absolutely no planets in it at all? Let me reassure you right now, an empty 7th house is incredibly common. It absolutely does not mean you lack a partner or the ability to deeply connect. So if you have a blank space here, do not panic.
It simply means that the topics of partnership and the other are being managed from elsewhere in your astrological chart. Which brings us to the fantastic concept of the steersman, or the captain. You see, in astrology, every house is governed by a planet based on the zodiac sign on its cusp. If your 7th house is empty, you just look to the planet that rules that specific sign. That ruling planet acts as the literal captain of your relational ship. It directs your partnerships and alliances from a totally different sector of your life story. Every ship has a captain, you just need to locate yours to understand where you might meet significant people and exactly how you operate.
Section 5. The Mirror of the Soul.
Let's zoom back out for our ultimate philosophical takeaway. Because the 7th house sits exactly opposite the 1st house of the self, it acts as a mirror. So the crucial point is, the mystical concept of polarity explains why we are irresistibly drawn to specific individuals. They represent the qualities we inevitably attract because we either refuse to identify with them or we simply don't see them in ourselves. For instance, if you are a highly airy, intellectual person, you might consistently attract a fiery, passionate partner to balance your scales. They literally help uncover those hidden, submerged traits within your own personality.
By embracing the other, we ultimately learn more about the complexities of our own spirit. I absolutely love this quote. It is so powerful because it shows how the 7th house acts as the ultimate bridge between the individual and the collective. Yes, of course, we learn the art of compromise and the joy of union, but we also learn who we truly are by looking directly into the mirror provided by the people we consciously choose to commit to.
Which leaves us with this final, really provocative thought. What does your 7th house reveal about the missing pieces of yourself? Whether you have a house full of dynamic, energetic planets, or a steadfast captain steering your ship from afar, this sector holds the master key to your relationship dynamics. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this leaves you eager to look at your own chart and explore your hidden relational depths.